Hey, David, it's so great to talk to you. I'm such a fan of this campaign. You guys created the Ice Dog sandwich and you won a Shorty Award for real-time response. So, first of all, can you please take me back to months ago when you guys were ideating on this? How does this come about? It is such a unique idea.
Yeah, it happened actually pretty quickly because our social media managers found that French's Mustard had created um, an ice cream, and they were paying attention to the conversation, and they noticed that people were actually saying, this is great and all, but where's my hot dog? Where's my hot dog? And you know, we were asked to think, how are we going to respond to this? Are we going to respond to this? And, the craziest idea that came up was, well, why don't we make an ice cream? Why don't we make an ice cream in response to their ice cream? An ice cream, you could whip up one of those in 30 minutes. So we got in contact with an ice cream maker in New York City who's known for making interesting flavors. He was pretty skeptical on this flavor, hot dog ice cream, hot
I
dog ice
wonder
cream.
why.
Yeah, it turned out actually pretty good, like surprisingly good. But so back to the process, we got in contact with him. He was like, "Okay, I can give this a try. I can have 12 of these sandwiches made by tomorrow morning." So we put some one of our account people on a plane to New York City that night. She took a photo of it. We got our post out at 8 in the morning the next day in response to French's, and the internet sort of lost its mind when they heard about a hot dog ice cream a couple hours later. So it was fast. It was fast and furious, and it was fun. It was definitely the wildest 24 hours I've ever had.
I can imagine the execution is very commendable.
Yeah.
And you guys, you gave it to the press first, which I thought was
Mhm.
such an interesting strategy. Why do that?
We wanted to, create some buzz. We only had 12 of them, like I said, because we wanted to get some buzz about this. We didn't have any budget behind it, so we thought the best way to do that would be to get press on it. Um, you know, Luckily, people, the press did bite on it because it is kind of interesting and weird. And then once that happened, and we saw the reaction of the internet, there was all sorts of reaction from, disgust, a lot of disgust, to "Are you crazy?" to a couple of people who wanted to try it. So we were like, okay, we have to make enough so that if somebody wants to try it, we can get it to them. So then we had to go into a second phase of the program, which was getting it into everyone's hand and not just the press. Um,
It's
so
clear that social and digital really amplified the response here. Like you said, you didn't have a huge budget behind it. It was organic. Is there a platform that you saw it really take off on?
definitely, like, we focused completely on Twitter. Um, that was the only place we really put our messaging about it, because that's where people's opinions are most, I guess, open. It didn't really lend itself to an Instagram or Facebook. We thought platform to it at that time. Um, so yeah, that's why we chose just Twitter.
Cool. And I this is kind of a tough question to answer because
Sure.
it is such a unique flavor. So that's probably the obvious response to this. But what do you think really made the actual campaign stand out?
Um, I think it's twofold. I mean, obviously, it's an insane proposition to say we are going to make this thing. Um, so, when we were talking to our client about it, we were like, we are not going to actually release this unless it's good. We're not going to make a gross, we're not going to make a gross ice cream and put your name on it. So we got assurances from the ice cream maker that he would be able to make it taste good. And once we had that go ahead, we were like, okay, we can go ahead and do this. So that was one thing that definitely drew people's attention. They just couldn't believe that it would be good. And I think, like, just the different flavors that, like, it was mustard and it was hot dog ice cream, but then we put candied hot dog bits in it, which were like kind of like smoked bacon. So that just added to, like, like this sort of weird menagerie food that we were making. And then I think just the quick response to French's also garnered a few headlines as well. That was definitely a point that the press could talk about. Like, oh, you remember that French's ice cream we talked about yesterday? Well, now we have a mustard ice cream. It was sort of like, what are we going to get tomorrow? Who knows what sort of crazy flavor we could get tomorrow at this rate. So
Do you see a future for this campaign? Do you see this happening in years to come? Is this something that might be annual?
I don't know if we'll ever make the hot dog ice cream again. One thing that was interesting to think about was while we were doing it, like, is this sort of response going to become a regular thing? Like, oh, this we responded to French's with our own version of that. Like, would this sort of start to get bigger and bigger? This style of response, and like, oh, we're going to take, aside from just a tweet responding, you take a literal action and respond. And so that was the most exciting thing about it. The idea that we were doing more than just tweeting about it. We
Mm-hmm.
were actually making something in reality in response to it.
How does it feel to be crowned as one of the best to do it in social and digital?
It feels great. I mean, it was a normal Tuesday when we got this brief, and good ideas can come from anywhere, by I don't know. It feels great. That's about all I could say. It's humbling to be in the same company as the chicken wars fight between Popeyes and Wendy's. That was also obviously lit the internet on fire too. So it's humbling to be in their company, and it feels great to actually have beaten them. So yeah.
I like the competitiveness. My last question is, what is it? What does it feel like to win a Shorty? Because I think in the ad world there are so many different awards, and Shorties are kind of it's a niche. It's specific.
Mhm. I think it's validating at this point in advertising. Everything's getting shorter. We have to have brand recognition as second zero, and people are flipping through Instagram stories so fast, going through their feeds so fast. So you need these ideas that sort of cut through the clutter and get people's attention. And that our hot dog ice cream was one of those things. It got people's attention and made them want to respond. They felt compelled to let us know if they hated it or loved it. And we thank our client for letting us take this crazy journey. But it feels great to win a Shorty. We're not awarding 2-minute long commercial movie videos anymore. Or it's all about how can you capture people's attention in the moment.
It
So
was so well done. Congratulations again, and
thank you.
stay healthy and stay safe.
Thank you so much.